ready to go. Belmont Park, the fall foliage off the backstretch, about as lush and gorgeous as it could be. Looking out, I mean, this place just a palace and fall championship meet coming down to the finish line. In fact, I think we're hitting the black and white checkered along the inside rail. We're basically done at Belmont Park, but the setting just majestic as we welcome Jason Blewitt, Maggie Wolfendale, and all of you to this Friday edition of Belmont Insider. And this, even though sort of a run-of-the-mill Friday regarding the standard fare on the racetrack locally, it felt a little more than just your average Friday.
Oh, for sure. It's kind of like Kentucky Oaks Day, if you will, for the fall time, as we did have the Breeders' Cup Friday card. Some great races, some formful ones, and some upsets, if you will. So we'll get to them in a second, though.
We definitely will. But let's get you out. Can barely talk. So excited about Liam's Map, who was terrific, as we go out to Kurt Becker for the call of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile.
For the first half mile, Tapiture and also Valid angling toward the far outside. Wicked Strong behind them, 5 lengths off the lead. Up front, Braidster, Lee, Mr. Z between those two, and Lee has the lead by a half length around the turn. Valid is in the 4th position, still 5 lengths off the lead. Street Strategy, Wicked Strong, Liam's Map between horses, and Liam's Map now changing lanes toward the outside to 3rd. Has to catch Lee coming off the far turn. Lee has the lead by 3. Liam's Map takes aim into the final furlong of the Las Vegas Dirt Mile. Liam's Map just keeps striding forward and takes the lead from Lee. Redvine is 3rd, but it's Liam's Map and Javier Castellano to take it. Lee was home 2nd, Redvine 3rd, and Wicked Strong.
A man amongst boys. Liam's Map terrific after not getting off all that alertly, but he showed a new dimension today and just rolled by Lee. A very good effort.
Yeah, I was standing down in the paddock watching this race behind Todd's assistant here, Byron Hughes, and he's just shaking his head the entire race until he hit about the 8th pole, and it was obvious that Liam's Map was going to kick clear here. Didn't switch leads until late, Jay, but once he did, he even accelerated more. He was just much the best.
I wonder off that effort if the connection. And they won a Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile with the horse who's going to have a hefty value as a stallion going forward at 2016. I do wonder if they're second-guessing themselves because he was just so good today as opposed to running tomorrow in the Classic against American Pharaoh. And this turned out to be a Breeders' Cup Friday to remember for both Javier Castellano and Todd Pletcher. Todd won 3 races, and here's Javier's 2nd win on the afternoon with the gritty Stop Charging Maria, who reminds me of a Shadow. She's just relentless and so consistent.
She is, Jay. I mean, you can't knock her at all. 9 for 16 lifetime, well over the 2 million mark there now with that win there. And she likes to get in a fight. I mean, she likes to battle it out with a filly. You don't see her win by that much oftentimes. Sometimes she has a tour de force, don't get me wrong. But when she gets embroiled with another horse beside her, she says, no, I don't think so.
Wasn't the only close finish regarding Breeders' Cup races out of Keeneland today. Juvenile Turf. Aidan O'Brien, 9 Breeders' Cup victories and counting. He's got Glen Eagles in the $5 million Classic tomorrow. And Hit It a Bomb overcame post number 14 in a furious finish.
Well, this is when you see Ryan Moore at his best. Getting Lasix for the first time, Hit It a Bomb is now gone 3 for 3 lifetime. He seems to be progressing very nicely, and he'll pick up his first graded stakes here in the juvenile turf. So he's a very nice horse. Like I said, Ryan Moore timing that impeccably.
Wish we had bought some stock in Warfront before
right?
before his first horses ever
Exploded.
ran. He was $150,000 this year. I would imagine he'll be standing for even more money in 2016. And for Mark Cassie, his first Breeders' Cup victory, City Zip filly, who's just been a gorilla. Her name, Catch a Glimpse, and she has been sensational on the turf.
Well, after this here, Jay, Florent Giroux, her rider, went 2 for 2 in his Breeders' Cup ride. So, but unfortunately, I'm a Chatterbox, not able to get the job done. Still running incredibly well there in the distaff, but boy, this is a gritty performance. I mean, chased the pace. Granted, it was a slow one, but still, she was able to hold off any closers. I know there were some highly regarded European shippers in there, but happy for Mark Cassie as well. Good trainer. We see him do well down there in Kentucky.
And your Friday appetizer, things only get better. The plot thickens as we go forward to that Breeders' Cup Saturday card, capped, of course, by the Classic at 5:35 with a Triple Crown champion, American Pharaoh. We'll see if he has his date with Destiny. Here at Belmont Park today, as Maggie noted, we had a couple of stakes, including the the turn back the alarm as we have Belmont bathed in that late afternoon light. They are flying past the fall foliage down the backside, and we'll send it up to the wordsmith in the booth, John Abrial, for the call.
Holiday's Jewel and Imposing Grace, and La Madrina sits right behind in fourth. Delightful Joy now moves up a spot from fifth, with Stiffed racing in sixth. And Joint Return is next in seventh. The trailer is Call Pat in eighth. America shakes clear now to lead by a full length over Imposing Grace. Holiday's Jewel is right alongside. Then the gray La Madrina. And to her outside is Delightful Joy, the quarter win in 23-4. Stiffed is sixth. Farther back, Joint Return and Call Pat. America on top here as they move around the far turn. Opening half mile in 47 and 1/5 seconds. It's America in front. Imposing Grace now dropping back. La Madrina and Holiday's Jewel. Those two are right together, second and third, with Delightful Joy now asked to pick it up. Delightful Joy is still 4 lengths from the front, chasing America, who has the lead. La Madrina in second. Holiday's Jewel now tailing off, passed by Delightful Joy. Call Pat is now getting in gear with a quarter of a mile to the finish. It's America and La Madrina. La Madrina, narrow lead. America, La Madrina is drifting out, not keeping a straight path there. On the outside, here comes Delightful Joy. Call Pat is fourth. They move for the 16th pole. It is America and Delightful Joy. It'll be between those two as they come for the finish, and it's going to be America. Delightful Joy was second. Call Pat got up for third.
Good start to Breeders' Cup weekend for celebrity chef owner Bobby Flay. Dame Dorothy tomorrow in the BC Filly Mare Sprint. And America gets a nice stakes win in the turn back the alarm.
Yeah, it was nice to see America drop out of Grade 1 company. That's where she's been in her last few, Jay. And she's a filly that I've always thought was talented, just maybe not quite at that level. And she really showed it here today. And showing a new dimension on the front end here under Chris DiCarlo.
Who does his homework, prepped in the zone following that long layoff from injury. And here is Chris alongside Maggie post turn back the alarm.
Here with perfect hair, considering you just had a helmet on. Chris DiCarlo, winning rider of America in today's turn back the alarm. Chris, you truly rode her like you had the best horse.
Well, Bill told me to help her away from there. There was a lack of pace. And once we went about 1/8 of a mile and she got into a good rhythm, I just left her alone and let her do the rest. Nobody was going, so I wasn't going to take it away from her. Nice, aggressive ride, like we've seen from you a couple months back now, overcoming an injury. Chris, are we going to see you at Aqueduct? What are your plans for the winter? Yes, I'll definitely be there at Aqueduct. I mean, I like Florida in the sun, but I like making money, too. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you throughout the winter. Congratulations. All right, thank you.
He's one of the good guys. Good to see Chris DiCarlo in the winner's circle. And happy to hear, Maggie, that he will be joining us over on the inner track in South Ozone Park, Queens at Aqueduct. And Chris, the kind of guy who's carved out a nice niche as far as riding for trainers like Todd Pletcher and Belmont.
Exactly. I mean, he rides a lot for Todd Pletcher over the winter time. And, two, he suits Aqueduct because he does have that, sometimes, if it fits the horse, that aggressive kind of nature to his riding. So he's a welcome addition. I'm glad to see him back riding well and healthy.
All right, stay healthy, Chris. He's got Winston as his agent, one of our favorite people at the track. He's a great guy, and 2-year-old turfers will hit the Widener for $100,000 when we come back for the AWOD.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the 2nd floor at Aqueduct.
Swept to the front with a dramatic run. Totalist takes second late. Private zone third. Honor Code in the mid-mile. Furlong to reel him in. Totalist is next. They're coming to the final 16. Liam's map reaching for the wire. Honor Code running out of time. Liam's map. Here comes Honor Code. Here's the wire. Honor Code looks like he got him in the last stride. Running down Liam's map in the Whitney.
And a hot hand for Javier Castellano today with 2 Breeders' Cup victories. Javier with 6 career BC wins in total. We'll see if he can get it done facing American Pharaoh, Tonalist, Keen Ice with Honor Code. And I think the biggest question, can he stretch out against that field and go the mile and a quarter?
Yeah, that is the main question here, Jay. With Honor Code, he has that late kick. Sometimes that isn't quite as effective going this distance with maybe what is to be a slower type pace in front of him. It depends what the other runners do in the face of American Pharaoh, who is a projected speed horse, especially with Beholder out. I love Honor Code, and I think Shug has done the most amazing training job. It's probably the best training job of the year, if not of the past decade, because this horse, he's not easy. I watch him every morning, and he's just that big, heavy, low carriage of his head horse that sometimes they're hard on themselves, and kudos to Shug.
All right, best of luck to Honor Code and Shug. Shug with a long and impressive list of Breeders' Cup winners in the past. Maggie and I just playing a little Shug trivia, and there are quite a few Shug horses that have won on Racing Super Bowl. Let's move on to the AWOD, whose closing kick in his prime was about as powerful as Honor Code's on the turf for David Donk, and 2-year-olds rock and rolled on the Widener. And here's Johnny I.
Out for the lead is Don't Be So Salty. Don't Be So Salty in front. And Rappel is racing in second. On the outside is Hot in the Hamptons next in third. And then it's Strike Midnight in fourth. Mountain Music Man down on the inside in fifth. Heated Verdict next in sixth. Aid Malad is seventh. Then it's Imperial Warrior on the outside in eighth. Pagan runs in ninth. And the trailer is Converge in 10th. And you do have the loose horse outside the field. The quarter went in 23 3/5 seconds. Don't Be So Salty in Frontier, 3/4 of a length as Rappel gets closer now in second. Don't Be So Salty. Rappel is running in second. Then it's Hot in the Hamptons next in third. Mountain Music Man down on the inside in fourth. Aid Malad is fifth. Heated Verdict runs in sixth, followed by Strike Midnight and Pagan. And then it's Converge and Imperial Warrior, the half in 47 4/5 seconds. It's still Don't Be So Salty and Rappel, the two of them heads apart for the lead as they turn for home now. And it's Rappel to take over the lead. Don't Be So Salty now dropping back. Mountain Music Man is on the move. Rappel and Mountain Music Man, they're right together. Pagan, and on the far outside is Converge, who's putting in a late rally. Mountain Music Man is now the leader. Then Rappel and Converge, they come for the finish. Mountain Music Man by 2. Converge from way out of it to get second. Then Pagan and Rappel.
Everybody okay, the rider and that riderless horse, but Mountain Music Man not bothered by a horse blowing by him with no jockey. Hey, there's no jockey on the 11. Pretty professional. Yeah, what's going on?
But yeah, country music, or Mountain Music Man. I keep calling him Country Music Man.
That's because you love country music.
This is also very true, but he would have been my Paddock Insider play last night, Jay, because I had written in my notes, just looks like a turf horse, but yet he won 6 furlongs on the dirt first time out against New York breds, but this is his true calling, and it was good to see Manny Franco in the winner's circle for Todd Pletcher.
And it's good to be Todd Pletcher, a hat trick at Keeneland today, 2 BC wins, and the Fayette with Race Day and Byron Hughes, there he is reunited with Mountain Music Man, a younger half-brother, he's a New York bred in fact, and a younger half-brother to Tourist who runs in the BC Turf Mile tomorrow. Speaking of turf, here we go in race number 4. A, good to be back on the grass, and B, let's see what happened in the opening leg of Friday's Pick 6.
On the outside into third. Then it's Enjoy the Show next in fourth, followed by Bam Bam, Rock Eagle, and Raffy's Bay is the trailer. They make their way onto the backstretch now. And it's McHagan in front here by a head. On the outside is Make a Decision, right there in second, 2.5 lengths. Security Risk and Enjoy the Show there, heads apart third and fourth. Bam Bam and Rock Eagle races a team, and Raffy's Bay continues to trail. The opening quarter over the good turf in 24 seconds, and they're midway up the backstretch. McHagan pokes ahead in front. Make a Decision is on the outside in second. Then it's a length and a half to Enjoy the Show and Security Risk. In between those two is Rock Eagle. Now Bam Bam begins to pick it up on the far outside. Bam Bam with a quick brush here and going up to challenge for the lead. Bam Bam on the outside. McHagan at the rail. Make a Decision in between those two. The half in 49 seconds. McHagan narrowly over Make a Decision. Bam Bam, now a length behind in third. Enjoy the Show rallies down towards the rail. Rock Eagle is fifth. Raffy's Bay takes sixth. Security Risk is now the trailer. 3/4 in 1:13 as the field heads for home. And Make a Decision now grabs the lead from McKagan. Enjoy the Show is racing in third. Farther back, it's Rock Eagle in fourth. They come down for the 16th pole. And it is Make a Decision. McKagan trying to come back again on the inside. Make a Decision. And McKagan, Make a Decision by a head. McKagan was second. Then Enjoy the Show and Rock Eagle.
Two state breds, the two speeds, put in a good show, a good battle down to the wire. And Angel Cruz in the house, riding Make a Decision, a victory.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention. Where has he been riding somewhere else?
He went to Remington, just packed up and left in the middle of Saratoga.
Well, he
even
got
before
hurt.
Saratoga.
He got hurt, remember?
Oh, right.
And he hurt his hand.
Yes.
And then I heard from him.
And was riding in Remington. So,
that is odd, but
don't know if he is back just for the weekend with other guys obviously riding at Keeneland, and the purses here are huge, but we like Angel. He's always smiling.
Angel.
And
he's a good rider.
Very good rider. Clicked here, got his position going forward, as Richie would say, and clicked for Linda Rice, who continues to bat at a very high percentage.
Yeah, exactly here, Jay. And a reclaim by Linda. She had this 5-year-old gelding for most of his career, and Mike Mager took him, got a win, but she said, no, I'll have him back. And she got the win here for her longtime client of Antonino Mercutio. And, yeah, these two doing battle. I thought McKagan ran very, very well as two down on the rail.
Yeah, state breds first and second in a tough open company race as we get it on to another state bred. In fact, calling the races, that is Johnny I, graduate of St. John's back in the day, and he could take us through the quarter pole run of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 9.
Rainbows down at the rail. Cryptic Comet looks to come on through. Make Your Point is on the outside, along with the favorite Fiery Cat. They come down for the line. It is More Than Rainbows in front. More Than Rainbows by a long neck. Make Your Point got up for second. Midnight Champagne, who had all inside. The two of them heads apart for the lead. It is Rapscallion, Rapid Rouge digging down at the rail. Here's St. Finian on the outside. Here comes St. Finian up to challenge Rapid Rouge for the lead. St. Finian now in front. Rapid Rouge is second. St. Finian by a half length. Rapid Rouge was second. Farther back, Tismus and Utopian. Down at the rail. Then it's March 2, I Want You to Know, and 2:17. Collins Smile, still the leader here with 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Collins Smile by 3. Pegasus Red, Mackenzie's Way, all out to try to catch Collins Smile, but he's got the lead as they come for the wire, and it's going to be a front-running score here. Collins Smile and Angel Arroyo. It was very close for second between Pegasus Red and Mackenzie's Way. March 2 was fourth. And Two Taps, Fair Point's looking for a way through. Piccolo Flats continues to rally on the outside, and Piccolo Flats has taken over the lead. Piccolo Flats in front, then it's Fair Point, Two Taps, Long Blooming Rose, and Jet Majesty. Piccolo Flats on to victory here. Piccolo Flats won by 3.5. Fair Point was second, and Two Taps checked in third. Stretch, and it is a Latigo Trail challenged here by Dark Roast. Dark Roast up now to grab the lead. Here comes Glowing Ember, and on the outside, Lord of Love, who was last, is kicking in and kicking in big. Lord of Love takes over the lead. Lord of Love, a last to first move, a 13-1 winner. Dark Roast was second. Glowing Ember finished third. With a narrow lead on the outside, Sing Song is gaining ground. Sophia's Choice challenged here by Sing Song, and Sophia's Choice. And they're right together as they move for the 16th pole. Sing Song on the outside now takes over. Then it's Sophia's Choice. Late run here, Kitty Madness. Sing Song the winner. Looked like Sophia's Choice held second over Kitty Madness.
carryover of about 15,000 into Breeders' Cup Saturday. We'll have that earlier than usual first race post of 11:45 a.m. And why don't we take a second look, Maggie, at race number 5 today as we'll pick up Cappy with the 5th race and Piccolo Flats. Keeping the ball rolling for the Statebreds against Open Company horses. A nice other than allowance victory for Danny Gargan.
You know, Dan, I was talking to Danny before the race, and Danny can be a bit high on his horses, and he just said she'll fire today. But I could tell. I mean, this filly, you can kind of read her like a magazine cover. You know exactly what's inside and what's in store for her. And, you know, he said she hates Saratoga. I don't know why he even brought her up there to train, because she doesn't like racing there, she doesn't like training there. But once he's gotten her back training over this surface for a couple months, it showed, and she delivered today in a big way.
And a one-turn mile really is her best game. She got to do it today over Big Sandy, as did Kendrick Carmouche, who's come back off that injury, was out for about 3 weeks. He's got 5 wins this week and scored a riding double today, as did Angel Arroyo, who rode that good-looking Unbridled Song filly in the last for trainer John Kimmel. On the training front, 9 individual trainers won a race today, and very happy to see 2 hard workers that we like a lot, and John Hertler and Andrew Lakeman both come away with the W. And in the owner standings, things did not work out for Sheikh Mohammed on this Breeders' Cup Friday. He can go to sleep nice and easy tonight, knowing that he is 1 win in front of everybody else, including Rapoli, the Ramses, and Claravich stables, with only 2 full cards remaining and quite a few claims. 1 page to bring you 4 out of race number 1 for the fillies and mares. Rapscallion and Tismus claimed out of race number 2. And we'll send it to break as we have El Kabir shaking off the ring rust as part of our Saturday preview.
And here it is. The 37-year wait is over.
It's bittersweet. The People's Champion has 1 race remaining on his 2015 and lifetime campaign, and that is tomorrow's $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Who could forget 20,000 in attendance watching him work out the day before the Travers, and he'll look for some revenge on Keen Ice, who picked them off late in the Midsummer Derby. Will this be a Breeders' Cup of American Pharoah, the first ever Triple Crown champion to compete in a Breeders' Cup race? Here locally at Belmont Park, we want you to check out NYRA.com, our wagering interface, and the new mobile site. 10% winners bonus tomorrow for Belmont doubles and pick 3s. Check it out at NYRA.com. It is Jason and Maggie as we fly down the stretch on this BC Friday edition of Belmont Insider. And let's head back to the cold inner track with El Kabir and his Gotham win.
Yeah, good to see this guy coming back, and coming back in a sprint. The 7/8 distance, I always felt as though he was the most competitive at. Actually, he superseded that by winning these 2-turn races at Aqueduct. Boy, it looks cold there. That is a prelude of what's to come in a couple months. But Jay, I've seen this guy in the morning. I was right back behind him schooling in the gate 2 days ago. He is as tight and as fit as you can have a horse coming off that layoff.
We'll see if he can jumpstart a big day for the Zayats. John Terranova, the trainer, and here's Mr. Todd Fletcher with My Loot. I like him cutting back the 7/8.
Do you?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure about it, but I think it makes sense based upon watching his races this year. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't.
All right, let's move on to our final horse. That is Montreux for Chad Brown. He's out of a dam, who's a half to a Derby and Preakness winner in Funny Side, and he's getting back to Belmont Park side of this gritty win over Catholic Cowboy.
Yeah, I thought he was really going to go on to like huge things after these 2 wins here at Belmont. Not quite the case if you kind of base that on his Islam performance at Monmouth. But he gets back here, as you said. He seems to like it. I like this horse. I like the 7/8.
Let's move on with a bold rule that goes fairly early in the card, if I'm not mistaken. Race number 4, so that will be precluded from Saturday's Pick 6 carryover. It is in the Pick 5, and playing part to the late Pick 4 is the Chelsea Flower. Lanita, second time out in the country off the Miss Grillo.
Yeah, I mean, once she finally got out, the race was kind of already unfolded, and the Tintype gal in the second place finisher just got the jump on her here, and I think maybe against a little lesser here, she could be very competitive. Obviously, she took a lot of money first time in the States for Chad.
And a solid, speaking of taking money, a solid win from Avis Kitten last time out, who's been favored in all 3 starts for Chad.
Once again, it's a horrific post for her, post 12, but she overcame it being post 11 last time, and I wish she was able to get some cover because she's a headstrong type filly, but a great ride last time out to get the job done breaking her maiden.
5 years removed from blame over Zenyatta narrowly in the 2010 Classic. Do you believe that? He's turned out to be an okay sire, Blame, and he's got width for Claiborne trying the turf for the first time for Clermont.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of Blame, and now even as a sire, I am too. Width, she's a bit of a quirky one, to say the least here for Kristoff. He's gonna try to move her to the turf. There's not that much immediate pedigree. I mean, Blame's not a bad influence, but Kristoff is 3 for 12 with this kind of move with his 2-year-old's positive ROI. Maybe she's able to get the job done and take to the turf.
And a man with a positive ROI, night and day, Andy Serling with Saturday's play.
Thanks a lot. Well, there's a smorgasbord of action on Saturday's racing cards with the Breeders' Cup, of course, at Keeneland. We have a 10-race card here. Those races are going to be very well dispersed. 20 minutes, I guess, between each race. Breeders' Cup at Keeneland, Belmont races, 10-race card. We've got some stakes. The 4th race is the Bold Ruler. Now, I think a lot of the eyes will be on El Kabir, who goes out for American Pharaoh's Connections as he comes off a layoff. And this is a horse who was very, very good last winter. And even though he was doing well going longer, I really think he's going to be fine going in these shorter distance races, 7 furlongs. And based on his works, he appears to be doing well. Still, this is the kind of horse, as the favorite, I want to give a race to. Now, Green Grotto appears to be the main speed, and maybe you think he can wire the field, but I think this race might belong to a closer. And I like My Loot in here, a horse who was in tough in the Kelso and also got no pace in there. He had a very good race in the Alydar when he was second in a mile and 1/8 with a trouble trip, and it was a race that was won in the front end, and he came from last. I love this turn back to 7 furlongs here, the 1 turn at Belmont Park, and I think My Loot's going to come rumbling along in the stretch and get the money, and he won't be the favorite. That's the 6 My Loot, the 4th race, the Bold Ruler, on Saturday's card.
The Bold Ruler, race 4, as Todd Pletcher keeps the juggernaut going with My Loot potentially against El Kabir. And you've got Andy Serling and Sean Morris. They broke down in a 3-segment piece, Breeders' Cup Friday and 2 for Breeders' Cup Saturday. Those are up on the NYRA.com homepage, which you should check out. And you're in the hot seat with Andy not here and Miggs in Kentucky, and we're glad about that. What's your classic play tomorrow?
Going with Tonalist. I think American Pharaoh is going to be very tough. Obviously, he controls the race, but it's not like we saw speed really being particularly that good today at Keeneland. So I think it sets up pretty nicely for Tonalist. Hopefully gets a good trip under Johnny V, and I just have always loved this horse. He's training very, very nicely leading up to it, too.
He's a New York horse through and through. 2 Gold Cups at Belmont Stakes, and wouldn't it be nice to see John Velasquez get that Breeders' Cup Classic victory that has eluded him? Leanna Williford, Krista Carlo, a great job with America. We love those AP Indy homebreds, and we'll do it all again tomorrow with Maggie and myself here on Belmont Insider.